So before this video gets started, I just wanted to let you know that I've got some more merchandise available in my store. Specifically to do with the Boosted Bros, we've got a Japanese themed t-shirt. It comes in a bunch of colors, but it also comes in a nice exclusive yellow. Definitely worth checking out. Big design on the back, small design on the front. And I also have it in English, and as well there are stickers for both of those designs. So if you're interested at all, make sure to go check out the store. The link is in the description. And also, if there's enough interest, I do also have a white version of that design, and I was thinking of putting it on a long sleeve shirt, so let me know if that's something that you would want. Anyway, on to the video. So some of you may remember the Bro 250 Workman that I made a few weeks ago. Now, this is a truck that I sort of designed after a GM, and then it kind of ended up looking like a Dodge, but at the same time a Tundra. The back end, I don't know, it could be anything at this point, but what we're going to be doing today is giving it a pretty significant makeover. We're going to be giving it the Raptor treatment. So if you don't know, the Ford Raptor is a Ford F-150, but it is extensively modified, different suspension, different engine, and well, it's got graphics, it's got a wide body. We're going to be trying to do a few of those things on this truck, just within the limits of automation. Keep in mind though, and this is important, I'm not mimicking the Raptor, I'm going to be making up my own specs for this, but the one thing that we are going to take from it is its displacement and the Twin Turbo V6. So this is a clone of the previous build, so I'm not going to be able to alter the actual suspension pieces. That's going to stay the same. However, we can change the engine, so let's do that first. So I'm thinking we go for a, let's go a 90-degree V6. Let's make it a cast iron block. What I want to do as well is go for a 3.5, so we'll increase the bore on this one. We do want to have a decent amount of torque, and we also want to have good RPM, so having a slightly square engine is okay, but for this case, 3.5 liters is perfect. Again, not mimicking the actual EcoBoost specs, I'm just going to go for a dual overhead cam. We'll go for 4 valves per cylinder, and we'll give it cast iron heads as well. We might end up changing that. I guess we could go VVL too. We're not concerned about weight as we have been on some of the previous builds. So the internals, forged stuff makes sense to me. Let's not go for the craziness like lightweight titanium and billet steel. I'm only trying to get 450 horsepower out of this. I don't want to do too much, but we will do VVT as well. And again, the big deal here, this is what we're celebrating today with that previous merch announcement, is turbos. We're going to do Twin Turbo V6. We'll go for a nice race preset to start us off, and we'll go for an optimistic 700 horsepower intercooler. Direct injection, of course. We'll go per cylinder, and we'll go for performance. Doesn't have to be race, but we will go for premium fuel, we'll say. Trying to be realistic, I think I'm going to go for mufflers, but we'll just go for straight through mufflers. Okay, it makes 50 horsepower. I've done something wrong. Alright, obviously the RON value is more than the engine can take. That means our compression is potentially too high, or we're just not high enough in the fuel mixture. But there we go, 100 and something horsepower, still knocking a bit. Let me get back to you when I fix that. So we don't even have to try, and I managed to do 557 horsepower. That's just too much. Like, I don't want to do that much. I'm trying to keep this semi-realistic, so we're gonna turn down the fuel mixture. Well, I guess we'll go for efficiency. It's actually not that bad so far. Goodness, 561 horsepower. Maybe this could be just a better version of the Raptor engine, I guess. We don't even, well, we're actually using our octane properly. It's got 21% efficiency, which for my cars is a bit of a miracle. 561 horsepower and a massive torque peak right here. I think we can probably do better on the turbo tuning, so let's give that a shot. So my goal here is basically just to flatten out the curve a bit. Obviously we want more power down here, we want to have some torque. This currently doesn't have much power at the low end, which is going to probably cause some issues, but we'll see. Actually, this might be a good way to do things. If we lower the turbine size, we can get less power, but we'll have better low end power, so I don't know. Maybe in the name of boost, we should just crank this up though. What do you think? So I messed with the VVL profile and the compression. I've come up with a nice 610 horsepower. Everything seems to be fine except for the large mountain here. The turbo itself isn't amazing, but actually the turbos, but I think it should be okay. I could get more power just by raising the size of these things, but it would be only power at the top end. So I've shrunk them down a little bit just to make them a little bit more, I don't know, sane. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. This isn't terrible. It's gonna work. It's a lot more power than I anticipated, but we'll make up for that in other ways. 615 horsepower. Yikes, that's a lot. So in addition to its recent upgrade in the engine bay, we're going to be doing some upgrades outside of the engine bay as well. First things first, just to be a little bit more Raptor-like, I want to test out this double cab. It's really struggling with it right now, but oh, that is it's interesting. You know what? Let's try it. I'm gonna go with it for now, and if I don't like it, I'll change it. We do need to change up the placement of some things. I just made it a bit bigger there, but I think it's gonna be fine. It does look a little bit different though. Alright, in terms of color, the Raptor is generally, I see a lot of them in blue, like the very distinct Raptor blue. I also see a lot of them in red, but I think we'll just go for a nice subtle color. This is already a white color, but why don't we try gray? Yeah, I'm a big fan of the gray and black wheels, so I think we're gonna stick with that. I almost forgot about this, but I do want to widen this truck a lot, as much as it'll allow me to at least. Currently it's kind of fighting back, but come on, widen up here, truck. We need those wide fenders, otherwise this plan isn't going to work. Well, that's as wide as they go. Looks like we're going to be using the other kit piece to make that work better. Alright, first thing I was thinking about with this is that chrome just isn't going to work anymore. Obviously, I want to keep the same general styling, but I do want to get rid of the chrome. First things first, I'm just fixing all the little bits that have gone off, but this chrome just isn't going to work, so it's down to plastic. Alright, there's the front end nice and blackened out. I like the look of that a lot, but there are a few other pieces here and there that I kind of just slapped chrome everywhere on this truck, so let's actually let's make these body colored maybe. Yeah, that's a nice stealth look. And then the door handles down to the black, and then over here exhaust is chrome for whatever reason. Can fix that as well. Alright, that looks a little bit better. And the back bumper, yeah, it's gonna be black too. Yeah, that's not bad, just a nice blacked out look. Before we go too far, we're gonna have to ditch these big wheels. They're just too big for this. We're gonna be going for off-road tires, or at least ones that work well off-road, so we need wheels to match. Not sure what I'm going to use for that though. Alright, so I've selected these, and I kind of just widened the wheels as well. And I'm actually using smaller rims this time. People like to say that I use too big rims. So in this case they are 18s, but we'll get back to that in a bit. First things first, we need to get rid of some of the things that make this the 250, and it's instead going to be a 250R. However, I'm not going to mark it in the same way. So here it says Bro, and then down there it says Workman, but I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll get rid of this Bro, and we'll put the new name, it's actually just the Workman Pro. You know, we could just go crazy with this. We could just start to use pieces that probably aren't meant for this area, just for fun. Oh, this is... it's a little bit glitchy, but it's kind of interesting. So the distinction has to be made. Am I going full race truck, or am I just going for something that's pure off-road? Because right now I'm starting to debate the race truck. Right, so I had this idea. I think what I'm going to do, because these are colorable, so if I just make these like a black, and I can do the like Ford Raptor back end if I play this properly with the layering. So I'm going to try it, and I'll get back to you on if that works or not. We shall see. Alright, slowly getting there, just have to line up the letters. Okay, there we go. So it says Workman on the back now, which is perfect. But what I need to do, and what I think I'll be able to do here, actually there are a few options that I can do. So, oh no, where did they go? Alright, I think I've got it. So it very obviously says Workman on the back. But yeah, it's a bit of a work in progress. I kind of like where it's going though. Obviously now this can just go away. We don't need a double Workman feature on the back here. I have some other ideas though. It takes a while to do these little touches, but they're always worth it. That took some time. Okay, let's try and, well, we need side graphics for one. I want to do something up here as well. And again, this needs to go. What about we do some sort of turbo badging to show what's inside of this thing? Alright, I've done a few subtle other touches to it. Like you can see there are rails here, so you can step on them if you're trying to get into it. We haven't even done the suspension lift yet, so we'll get to that in a bit. Looks wise, I added a nice little chin here. It sticks out a little bit, but it's basically just so we can tune the front downforce, because I'm afraid this is going to have wheel spin. The back end is actually still useful. You can raise and lower that on some trucks, but not going to do that on this. Still with this, I might change the exhaust, I'm not sure, might just make it bigger. Added a door handle, blackened some other things. What else can I do? I know Raptor on the side is going to be, or Workman Pro I guess on the side is something we need to do. You know, somewhere along the line this sort of turned into a Ram Rebel instead of a Raptor. Not saying I mind, but it is a little bit different than I had previously anticipated. Oh, you know what I did download though? Eyelashes. Oh man, we're gonna have to use these one day to their fullest extent. And I mean the fullest. Okay, so let's try and work on the side decals. This is gonna be a bit tricky because it's going to be mirrored on the other side, so we'll have to reverse letters and such, but I want to start with a base first. There are a lot of cool things here that we can use. I've got quite a few little stickers here and there that I've picked up from various mods that people have made for the workshop, but not all of them will work for this. We really need, I don't even know, most of these are pretty cheesy. Kind of trying to create my own design, and then I'm gonna write something in it, I guess. I don't know. Fortunately, you can't color these, so I'm very much picking these based on their colors. So in my testing so far, I have failed. All of the designs I've come up with have been not good, which kind of sucks just because I was hoping to do something there, but I might have to avoid it for now. We can always come back and put something there later. Basically, I just need like the mud-slinging tribal type thing. But that doesn't seem to exist, but trying to make one doesn't seem to work either. That's okay though, we'll go for the nice sleek look. With a Workman on the back is a good touch. I like the way that goes, and I think... Okay, one of the headlights disappeared. How did that happen? Never mind, fixed it. So as far as builds go, that's not too bad. Pretty simple actually. But what I'm going to do now is move on to the drivetrain. Currently it's 4x4, which is good, but I'm going to switch it to be a dual clutch. That might help us a little bit with the old wheel spin, which is currently at 18%, and most of it is in second gear. But we do have a few tricks to help out with that. I believe our top speed has actually gone down. Surprising. That's not going to help with the wheel spin. We've got an electric LSD, but I'm thinking we'll probably go for an automatic locker. Oh no, now the wheel spin is coming in. So it's probably due to this. We currently have pretty massive wheels. I think 335s all the way around is probably for the best, but again, that's not going to be good on the wheel spin. It's not going to like that. Brakes are still strong enough. They are quite large, as is. I'm just going to increase the pad type for this one. Aerodynamics, we actually have some now. I could go for an active wing, although it doesn't really make sense. I think that's going to be fine. Interior, we'll just have the same... you know what? We'll go for a sport interior. We don't really care about how much this stuff weighs. With premium infotainment, again, trying to ape the Raptor a little bit, and it's probably got a full bench seat in the back too, which will help with weight. I mean, help with weight as in make it heavier, but yeah, it's fine. Safety, again, adding weight, and that'll help with this stuff here, but we don't really care about that. Now, suspension, this is the big deal. What I'm going to do is probably not even close to what the Raptor has, but I was thinking we just go standard, we go adaptive, and we go off-road. So it's not progressive, it's just standard. And I was thinking as well for a sport preset, but we raise up the ride height quite a bit. So it's kind of monster trucking a little bit, but it's still a sport preset, so it's not super stiff. And I've switched it to a race preset. Not much of a difference being made there. You can see this is not lined up. The simple fact that one is our front wheels are too big. We can fix that. Back to the drivetrain. 5.5 seconds. Things have slowed down quite a bit. Let's see though. 279. Our wheel spin is down. Our spacing is low. Wheel spin in second gear is a bit of an inevitability. We'll have to work on that. So we kind of have to face the choice here. Either we go for higher spacing, which increases our wheel spin in most gears, or we stick with lower spacing, which will make wheel spin only in the first 2 gears out of 7. We could just drop down a gear. That would not really help at all. I don't know. We'll just leave it as is for now. I think that's going to be fine. We could also lower the speed, but for now, I think we're good. Back over to the wheels. So the front wheels are too big based on this graph, so we can shrink those down and get a lot better drivability. Let's stick to a medium compound as well, and it's mostly for looks that I'd be going for off-road compound, so you can see what it looks like there. It looks the part, but it's not going to give us good grip. Medium compound is generally better. And trying to balance things out, I shrunk down the rear wheels just a touch. The wheels themselves are still massive, but they still are alloy, so they should be reasonably light. I think everything checks out now. Let's have a look at what it looks like overall. So it now has 615 horsepower, 7,700 RPM. That's pretty nice, but it does almost weigh 3,000 kilos, which is quite a bit. I guess just adding the interior and adding the safety features made that go up, but I also was only anticipating doing 450 horsepower, so I think this kind of compensates for that. But that's the build. Let's go ahead and test it in Beam, see how it does on the off-road tough truck challenge map. So what we have now is a bit of a lineup of trucks. We've got the original, and this is the 250 Workmen Bro. I guess you could say, like, if you were to compare this to the Ford lineup, this might be the like Platinum, not quite a limited, but a Platinum. And then over here we have the Raptor version, or maybe an FX4 if you want to be a bit more conservative with it. But the original has a 5-liter V8, and it's got an advanced auto. Same, actually very similar spacing of gears, but different transmission changes things up quite a bit in terms of driving characteristics. In terms of drivability though, I am actually really enjoying the new one. But first, let's take out the old one, just so you can see what that's like. So, okay, I keep forgetting. I've got it on realistic, so I have to shift for myself, even if it's a auto, I still have to put it in drive. But here, you can see this truck, it's got some get up and go, like it's not a slow truck by any means. On the track it's definitely slower than most of my cars, but yeah, it does actually have a good pickup. Now just driving around this map, by the way, it's the Tough Truck Challenge map. If you missed out what I said before, people always seem to ask what the maps are. But yeah, I can see myself driving something like this pretty often. It's definitely more of a daily vehicle. Off-road wise, it's not bad. It does have a lockable center diff, being a 4-wheel drive, and also unlockable as well. It basically just rides around 4-wheel drive most of the time. I'm actually interested. Let's try it in 2-wheel drive just for fun. Alright, so it's in 2-wheel drive. Wheel spin. Okay, I guess that's what you can expect. I don't remember how much power this one has. I probably should, because we were just looking at its engine before. But yeah, it's a decent truck overall. And now we come on to the new hotness here. This is the Raptor variation, currently in 4-wheel drive for reasons you'll see soon. But let's put it in 2-wheel, see how this goes. Twin Turbo V6 really does rip though. It's probably got double the horsepower of that other truck over there, so you can expect some good things. Let's go for a drive. So it's getting a little hung up on the gears, as you can see. That hasn't happened to me before, probably just because I shifted it into sport mode at a bad time, but in 2-wheel drive, the wheel spin is a little bit crazy. When you shift back into 4-wheel drive though, there we go. So when you get back into 4-wheel drive, it's actually not too bad. The second gear, as it had predicted with a 97% or whatever it was, is not really affecting it too badly, thankfully. One thing that's kind of fun with this, and I've already tested it out just a little bit, is if you lock the front and the back diff, because you do have that option on this one, it's just a total off-road missile. Like, there's pretty much nothing that can stop it. And I think what we need to do with this, after our quick little run here, is see if we can find something that will indeed stop it. There are a few challenging things on this map, so let's try them out. So you'll remember that I came here with the massive Rhino that I made, and I was using that to crush some Bugos and run over some of these courses. We've already shed our rear bumper, but I'm going to go ahead and attempt this thing anyway. This was a course that had no problems at all with the massive tired Rhino. With this much smaller wheeled vehicle, it's probably going to get stuck a few times, as it kind of currently is. Hold on a minute. Immediately I need to shift into low range. That was a slight mistake on my part, but I'm in manual mode, so I can stick it out in gear 1 without the transmission shifting on me. and that should let us crawl a little bit here and hopefully get over some of these obstacles. Hopefully. Having high engine speed is a good thing, but having wheel spin isn't. That's going to cause us to fly off the rails, so hopefully I can get it under control here. And we seem to be hung up on this pipe mostly just because of ground clearance. Proving myself wrong in my previous statement. Seems like this one might need a rescue. So there is a course on here that is even more challenging than what we were just doing. It doesn't necessarily require as much ground clearance though, which is the key factor for a much smaller vehicle like this, at least in comparison to the ever massive Rhino BIG, which I guess I can show you at the end, but I don't think it was even able to get up this spot. Just don't mind the moguls for now, we'll ignore these, but it's that cliff right ahead of us. Let's give it a try with a low range on. Okay, so I'm going to reset the truck just to prep for this, and I'm going to give it a bit of an engine boost here. We'll go up in drive. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. You can see though that this is a pretty steep cliff and it's got some bumps on it. It's one that requires some decent control of the vehicle, one thing the Rhino BIG did not have at all. But I have struggled with this a few times, even in some specialized beam off-roaders. Just getting up this one spot is incredibly challenging. So far so good though. High wheel spin seems to be doing us some good. As long as I can keep it straight, I should be okay. Uh-oh. Come on. Oh darn, hold on. Okay, we're gonna try the old brake and drive at the same time technique. And that hasn't worked out so far. Yeah, so we might be stuck here, potentially forever. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm just stuck now. Alright, I'm giving up. Let's back out of this one. Hopefully attempt to live down this area. I don't know, I tried. Eventually I'll be able to get a vehicle up there, but I don't know what it's gonna take to do it. It's gonna have to be something very specialized, I would suspect. And we managed to make it down there without any issues. So my initial conclusion with this was that I wasn't gonna like the double cab. It's not really a double cab, it's like a cab and 3/4, but I don't know, I kind of like it. I like the way it looks, and I'm glad that I chose it for this. I think it mixes up the build just in the right way. It doesn't really take away anything, which is kind of the point. I guess it did take away from the bet though. Counterpoint. Alright, I'm going to attempt a death run here, hopefully make it over top of the deadly cliff over to this, oh yeah, no problem there, just over to this little obstacle. I want to show you a comparison between this and the Rhino BIG, just for fun, just so you can see what I was talking about before. So that over there is the Rhino BIG, all mighty and tall. Let's see if we can go over to it. We still are in 4-wheel drive, but I unlocked all the diffs and put it in high range, so our off-roading ability is pretty low. But you can see there that the wheels on this truck are almost taller than the thing we just made. Still, the Rhino BIG remains undefeated in the classes of tough off-road vehicles. Eventually we'll get there again though. I've got some ideas. Well, I think that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure to go check out that merchandise I was talking about at the beginning. If it caught your eye, it was something that you were interested in. I've got a couple more ideas for merch, but I don't really want to go through with them if people aren't actually interested in it. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there are any ways that could be improved on that merchandise. If it's not something you're interested in, tell me why perhaps. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. So yeah, the Workman and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next week for some more videos. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing there yet, but there's always something weird coming up. And as always, I just want to thank those who have chosen to support the channel, specifically Will, Canadian Steel, Boris Ramirez, and Slow Fried Chicken 69. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it a lot. These are the people that keep this channel going in the background at the end of every video, so thank you so much.